for the player. I think he'd be the first to say that support from the group around him is tremendous, but it's enabled him to show some of the fantastic quality that he has. And I think if we look back across the course of the season, which we'll get the opportunity to do so in a couple of weeks' time when, hopefully things have calmed down, you're going to see some fantastic goals, some tremendous performances, and an individual that, of course, I've said before, should be backing up the Golden Boot with the MVP award. That, for me, is a given. He's been wonderful this year, and he has been the difference by far for our group. I would say more than any other player in any other group.
Thank you, Coach. We'll open the floor for questions. We'll kick it off with those in the room here. Drake, go ahead.
Yeah, you mentioned it in your opening statement, Gary. Joe Willis, 14 saves, and it's against a team that hasn't put up a goose egg at home since the 2020 season. So how do you feel, especially in that first half, where obviously there was a lot of pressure that you guys are used to absorbing, but then going on the counter? What's it like in your seat, seeing the team absorb that kind of pressure and then eventually get the goal?
Well, there's obviously some qualities to be looking at and come out of that. Do we want to be under that sort of duress? No. But when we are, the guys roll their sleeves up. They know their roles, they know their jobs, and to the very best of their ability, they throw their bodies on the line. And no one more so than probably Joe today. And he made a couple of fantastic saves in open play. Of course, the penalty makes a world of difference at that point when the pressure was starting to mount. And then to be able, in some way, shape or form, to counter that and show some quality going the other way. And there were 2 or 3 moments, not many, but you don't expect many in this sort of environment and this venue. There were a couple of moments I felt we might have just done a little bit better in front of goal, slightly better finish, a little bit more clinical. But in the end, we found the difference-making goal. And I think that makes a world of difference for the mentality going into the postseason. Bit of confidence, some belief again on the road. Our road form's been terrific. I know we go to Galaxy now, another terrific side, but you're not going to run into a bad one now. So, we go into it with an amount of confidence, enthusiasm, and belief in what we can achieve.
Max, go ahead.
Hey, Coach. My name is Max. I'm with the German Newswire here for Hany. I guess if you win the Golden Boot in any league, you get on people's radar more so than you do anyways. He has signed a long-term contract with Nashville, but are you worried at all that he might get an offer he can't refuse, or the team gets an offer they can't refuse, and he might leave because of that?
Look, I think you've covered all the angles there. He's on a long-term contract. There isn't a reason I can think of that we wouldn't want to, make that term a reality and see him here for many years to come. I'm certainly not going to be looking to move him on because of the difference he makes to the team. However, if somebody wants to lay the crown jewels on the table, I'm sure somebody above me will talk to him about it and maybe ask for a tad more than just the crown jewels. But I'm sure everyone has their price. At this point in time, though, we're delighted he's part of our group and hopefully for the future.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Rick.
Yeah, Teal's been out for 17 games this year. That's half the season. Yet when he comes in, he started 6. He scored 5 of those games. What do you think about going into the playoffs, knowing someone like that has come off the bench cold and obviously scores in this game, kind of continues what he's done when he's able to play?
Yeah, it was a real shame for him. He was on a really good run, as we know. I think his experience kicks in. The biggest difficulty, he's had a couple of spells out with injuries, and that can sometimes take away a little bit of match sharpness. I thought he looked terrific today. Physically keeps himself in great shape. And I think those instincts of where the ball's going to land, I'm going to find an area and just take a little bit of a gamble, something that, you've either got as a forward or you haven't. And he's found a really good area off of that near post flick. of course, it's something that we look at and work on, but you've still got to get somebody timing their run right and then, of course, execute on the end of it. I'm not sure it was his most difficult finish that he's had in his career, but he's still got it at the back of the net, and it's made the world of difference today.
Scott, go ahead.
Scott French from Soccer America. You've got a game in LA. If you win, you've got a game in LA. Just your thoughts on playing 3 straight games?
Maybe we
here?
need to buy a couple of condos over here, so we ain't got to go back.
I know Chris would like that.
Yes, there's a few people that wouldn't mind it. Look, fate deals its cards. I had the results coming through on pitch side, and the other teams did their job. We have set a record for games won for the franchise. We finished 4th in the Western Conference, having been moved across, obviously, from the East. Not an easy task. We finished the season with our away form, I believe, being as good as near enough anyone, maybe slightly outside of the top 2 or 3 in 28 teams. That's an incredible achievement for our group. So whilst we're going to have a bit of travel, we've had a lot all year. We've got used to that rhythm. We'll be here a couple of days before. We'll get ourselves in good shape. We'll be ready for the game. And I'm sure it'll be a very exciting one against a really good Galaxy side.
If you were to beat the Galaxy, would you consider staying in LA for the 5-6 days leading up?
I think that's something that we talk about behind the scenes. I think where and when those games are taking place would make a big difference.
I guess it would be a Saturday, Thursday.
Is that right?
Yeah.
You know that for sure?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's something I can talk to, my bosses about, because I'm sure there's some pounds, shillings and pence attached to that as well. The other part of the equation, though, of course, is, yes, it's nice to maybe deal with some of the travel and the time zones in a better fashion by staying. However, don't forget, we've got guys here with families, they want to be in their own beds. We're going to have to take all of those things into consideration. Let's get ourselves away from here. We'll all give ourselves a moment to just take a deep breath, and we'll have plenty to talk about come Monday morning.
So I wanted to get your thoughts, initial thoughts, I guess, just on the Galaxy. Since they brought in Brugman and Fuchs, it's a very different team than it was before that.
We've had 2 very difficult games against them. We ran into them early part of the year in our 8th away game. It was, I think, we actually came sort of back-to-back West Coast games then. We played in San Jose the weekend before. And it was a real challenge. They played very, very well on the night. But there were some factors, I think, in that game that made it very different. They played well when they came to our place. A different look to the team. The guys you've mentioned have given them a very different dynamic and dimension. And it won't be easy. It never is there. But I wouldn't expect anything less from a side that have invested an awful lot in their group. They've got a great history. And, we'll see it as another opportunity to, maybe stick another stripe on our arm and take another big gun down.
We have one more question from Drake Hills here, and then we're going to go to the Zoom. Drake, go ahead.
Yeah, just want to follow up with a couple of subs that you made at halftime. Dax came off, and then Walker went off for I believe that was Jack Mayer.
Yeah.
So just want to see the status of those guys.
Yeah.
Those guys 100%.
Yeah, no problem. The chat with both of those guys before the game, Dax has had an awful lot of football, and his body's taking a day or 2 longer to recover. We spoke about the 45-minute or an hour mark. Same with Walker. The difference was Walker played 2 90-minute games for the US in the window when everyone else had an opportunity to recover. And I just felt it was a good time without using up an opportunity. I knew I had some other moves that I wanted to make, getting Annabelle into the game. And I wasn't quite sure how things were going to unfold. So it made some sense at that point. Jack is somebody that's come in and done a fabulous job. I want to keep him sharp and keep him ready, if needs must, at whatever point. Same for Brian Anunga. He's been very, very unfortunate. I thought he was terrific second half, and it'll be a big 45 minutes for him. whenever and wherever those guys are needed, it will stand them in good stead.
Thank you. We're gonna go to those on the Zoom. Team, go ahead.
Gary, you mentioned a little bit about Joe's performance to Drake's first question, I believe it was, but how immense was he for you guys today? Obviously, I think LAFC had like 4.1 expected goals and obviously 0 actual goals. So how important was Joe for you today? And is this the guy that, we haven't seen it as much of this year, but we have in the past years that you hope you'll see throughout the playoffs?
Well, the one thing you hope is, the goalkeeper doesn't see as much action as he has done today very often. But when called upon, you want somebody to stand up and physically, deal with some of the situations that occurred. And it's not just physical, as we know. You've got to deal with the stress and the mental anguish, of a penalty situation. And it's not the first time that he's been able to get the job done. So I think he'll be the first to say that the guys in front of him are normally doing a fabulous job. Today, he was the one that's going to get the accolades. But make no mistake, there was a lot of endeavour and energy that went on in front of him to try and, keep this very exciting LAFC side at bay.
Claudio, go ahead with your question.
Gary, if somebody says that the Galaxy won 4 out of 6 points 6 season against Nashville, they might say, well, Nashville has nothing to do with the game coming up. But you know better than anybody, being there before, that the playoff game is a different horse altogether. Knowing that, what is it that on the regular season against this Galaxy team that makes you become more aware of what needs to be done in LA to come on top?
Well, in not a dissimilar fashion to this LAFC group, they're very, very capable with the ball and manage the ball extremely well. The two lads that were spoken about earlier, Brugman and Puig, pronunciation is never that good, are both very, very good footballers. And that really sort of combines with and is a catalyst for some of the other very talented guys they have in that group. It certainly won't be an easy situation. And it certainly won't be the first time that you've seen a side win away from home, if indeed we do that, because that's what the playoffs are all about. It really is getting the plan right, the players to the very best of their ability executing that plan. And then along the way, you might need a little bit of fortune, a little bit of pixie dust thrown in there as well, especially away from home. And before you know it, you're in the next round. But there'll be a lot of hard work. There's no doubt about that. But we'll go there with the right mentality. We'll go there with the right group. And we'll go there with the right plan. And then it's about executing that and asking some serious questions of this Galaxy group.
We have time for one more question. Team, take us home.
Hey, Gary, you brought it back up last Sunday that, your comment earlier in the year about how making the playoffs would be your greatest accomplishment with this club. Now that and the entire regular season are put in the books, how do you shift focus and make sure that the guys don't kind of feel like job done and make sure that they're 100% focused on the playoffs?
I think they will be, Tim. I've no reason to believe otherwise. We spoke pre-game about the importance of finishing the season off well, what or however that came about. If it was going to be a good footballing display, so be it. If it was going to be a backs to the wall and roll your sleeves up, so be it. We've always got something to prove. I think there are a lot of people out there that really, leave us in that position. We're always seeming to have to prove people wrong, and that will continue for a long while yet, I'm sure. So, next week will be no different. We'll be the underdogs. We'll relish that, and we'll do our very best to turn over one of the big guns.
Thank you, Coach. I appreciate you
Thank
taking
you.
the time.
Thank you, Gary.
Yeah.
Welcome back, everybody. We are joined by MLS Golden Boot in 2022, Hany Mukhtar. Hany, Congratulations. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I feel amazing. It's a big honor. I'm very grateful to my teammates, to the coaching staff, to the whole organization. It's a big achievement for me, and yeah, I'm very proud of it.
We are going to open the floor for questions now. Drake, go ahead.
Yeah, how do you, given the longevity of, have you been able to score so many goals across the year? What is it to you to know that you were able to stay consistent across the season and keep the lead and obviously take home a golden boot?
Yeah, I mean, it was a very good season for me. Very good regular season. Now I'm looking forward to the playoffs. That's where it counts. And yeah, will be tough coming back to LA, to the Galaxy. We had a really tough game there, but we are capable to beat them.
You know where you're going to put that golden boot in your house?
Not yet, but it would definitely get a special place. Yeah.
Do you have any other questions, Drake? Okay, go ahead, this guy.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Your coach made the point that he believes that you are really the only candidate for MVP. I agree with him. Your thoughts on that, and is that something that you look forward to seeing what happens, or is it something you put on the side and business as usual?
Yeah, it's a big honor to be a contender of the MVP. For me personal, I definitely think it's a bigger honor to win the MVP and the Golden Boot, and I will try everything I can now in the playoffs too to make my case. And
Voting ends tomorrow.
Voting ends tomorrow. Okay, yeah.
There goes the motivation.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I can just give my best every game, and I think Gazdag, Drisi, they had all a good season. I'm a sportsman. I respect all of them, but of course, in the end, I want to win it. I had a great season, and I think I deserve it. Yes.
And one other question I have is just in the game, you get the Galaxy and actually get a trip back to LA, and then if you win, another trip back to LA. So you're going to be here for a while, but playing a Galaxy team that, since they added Brugman and Pooch, are a very different Galaxy team. Just what you see when you watch them.
Yes, we had troubles both games against them. I think we have to prepare our game in the right way. We have to learn our lessons from the games we had against them. So yeah, I'm definitely very positive that we will be ready, and will be a tough game, but we are capable to definitely beat them.
Max, no questions. We're going to now transfer to those on the Zoom. Team Sullivan, go ahead.
Hany, going into today's game, you guys didn't have a ton of possession. Seemed like you were having difficulty winning those second balls, especially. How difficult of a match was it, and how big of a relief was it to know that your corner kick helped lead to the difference between the teams?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't our best game, to be honest. We have to look in the mirror and be honest to ourselves. But that we are still capable to win that game says a lot about us. We are not shying away to also having a bad game, and need to do the dirty work. And I think we are known for that. That we are, even if we have a bad game, that we are capable to do the dirty work and dig in and win these games. So it will be similar game probably against the Galaxy. They want to keep the ball. We need to be sharp when we win the ball, and then use our chances. And I mean, before we score the 1-0, I have a big chance on my right foot. I need to score that. But yeah, I'm glad that Thiel came in and made his impact.
Team, if you have any other questions, please go ahead with them, and then we'll transfer to Claudio.
Yeah, Hany, going into the game, you obviously didn't know how many goals Drisi was going to score. He just got one, so you stayed ahead. But as the game progresses and you guys are having difficulty finding offense, are you getting worried about the Golden Boot, or is it all just focused on the match today?
I wasn't thinking so much about the Golden Boot. I just wanted to score, help the team, because I knew if I could score one more goal, that would help immense the team and release a little bit the pressure. But yeah, in the end, I'm happy that I won the Golden Boot, and now looking forward to the playoff game.
You good, Tim? Okay, we'll transfer now to Claudio Villalobos. Claudio.
Hany, you stated that Nashville did not play the best game today, but then the still guys came back on top. I mean, you won the game. Now, when you look at the next game, which is going to be probably harder, I guess, because what's at stake, would you rather come up on top even having the worst game in the year, or play better and lose? I mean,
Yeah,
I know the answer is obvious, but just
you
I
know,
wanna hear you.
that's what I think shows the character of the team. You know, we're not shying away from playing dirty, but getting the points and getting the job done. And I think that's very unique about our team. That even though we have a bad game or we are not playing our best football, that we are capable to win. And this is special about the team, because not every team is capable of this.
Claudio, any more questions? We go to Ben Wright. Ben, take us home.
Yeah, Hany, just wondering, do you have a favorite of the 23 goals you scored in the regular season? Do you have a favorite?
Definitely at home against Austin.
Is that it, Ben?
Yeah, that's good for me.
Wonderful. Well, thank you, everybody. We look forward to seeing those of you in LA on next weekend.
Yes.
And those of you at home, hopefully soon at training this week.
Thank you so much.
Thank
See
you,
you next
everybody.
week.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. See you.